Hi, this is Enrique. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're here in front of a Walmart, Blake and I, and we're actually going to be topping off some of his prepping supplies. Recently, there's been a lot of things going on in the news, and one of them that really stuck out to us was the fact that there's been a lot of drone sightings right now. And the thing is we don't really know what government, if it's our government or if it's some unidentified source that's planting all these drones in different parts of the United States. I know that for the most part, that's been going on for the last month, but recently these drone sightings have gone up, and a lot of them have actually been somewhere around the East Coast towards New York or New Jersey. And recently I've even heard that there's drone sightings on the other side of the coast, the West Coast, actually closer to where I live, near Palm Springs, California. So this is getting very interesting. From what I've actually done my research online, it seems like potentially these drones are not nefarious, but it looks like they might actually be sniffing for nuclear radiation or maybe gas leaks, because for the most part what we know is that when people want to be able to fly drones to map, it's usually during the day. At night, drones don't really have a use unless they want to just go ahead and make a nuisance. These drones, if they are sniffing for anything nuclear, we as US citizens have to be prepared, because we do not know how this government is hiding things from us, right? You always want to have your preps ready, and that's one thing that Blake and we want to make sure that we have our preps ready as well, and everybody else watching us, we highly recommend it. When it comes to protecting yourself from radiation, Blake here, he's going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a tidbit here on what you can do to protect yourself in case you needed to use for radiation. This is also good for you to have in your prep list as well.
Yeah, so just earlier today, Enrique and I, as well as Jeremiah Babe, who a lot of you subscribe to and watch as well, we had a little discussion and we decided to go ahead and stock up on some potassium iodide, called potassium iodide capsules. They're actually really inexpensive. We were able to locate them on Amazon and make a purchase so that way all of us would have a nice supply of these, just in case. I mean, it's a great idea to have this stuff, and if you never need it, amazing, but if you do need it, you have it, and you're not in a situation where you are going to be stressing out and maybe suffering a lot of consequences if something were to happen along the lines of radiation being exposed to you and your family.
From what I was reading on the instructions, is usually would have to take 130 milligrams per day for 2 weeks. And these pills, they actually, the ones that we bought, they have an expiration date of December 2032. So you can hold on to these for a very long time. As long as you have them stored in a nice climate controlled area, you can have these for a very long time. It's not like you have to consume these anytime soon. You could just stash them away, and that's just something good to be able to add to your list of things that you need for preparation. We are going to go inside Walmart right now. We're going to go ahead and get some propane tanks refilled here. We're going to be able to see if Walmart here has the stuff that you need to be able to prepare. Again, not everybody shops at Walmart, but this is a very good place for you to come and stock up on your preps.
So here we have some meat selection at the local Walmart, and we've got some grass-fed beef here, which is fantastic. And then also you have some Wagyu, so decent options right here. And then also we have some of the more basic ground beef. So I'm a huge fan of the cleanest meats when possible, but also if your budget does not allow, it is still good to get high quality animal protein and animal fats. Also some decent steaks here as well at a decent price. So every once in a while, I'll grab something if I come in Walmart.
And one of the things that I think it's very important to have in your list for preps would be flashlights. So there's many different kinds here, as you can see. And some you could put in your head, some you can just carry with you. But I think it's very important for you to stock up on something like this. If the lights ever go out, you'll be ready. So, and check your local stores as well. I think it's great to have something like this in your arsenal. Thing that you should also have on your arsenal for prep is batteries. Always try to keep a good amount of AA, AAA batteries. Also, the CR2032s, those are very good to have as well. A lot of devices nowadays, they use those, especially if you have like AirTags, Apple AirTags. Those use those as well. but I highly recommend that you keep triple A's. You want to keep your double A's, and you want to keep some C and D batteries in your arsenal for prepping as well.
Another essential, if not at the top of the list of prep items, is water. So my preference is spring water, and then also it's good to have some distilled water on hand too. But as you can see, pretty cheap here, especially if you live in the city or on city water. This is the most important thing you need to have. If you don't have water for 3 days, you're dead. So it's very important to get some of this, stock up, and you can have a stash of it. It's going to last you several years before it would go bad, as long as you keep it in a cool environment, not out in the sun or heat or anything like that. Some of the other items that are essential, in my opinion, to have, especially if you have perishable food items, is a cooler. So they've got some big ones, medium-sized, small ones. I like to have a little bit of everything in your arsenal, and that way you can kind of coordinate how you want to organize things. With the recent hurricanes that we had when we lost power, I had a couple different nice coolers, and so I could organize. And I was actually personally able to shut off my refrigerator freezer because I only had a few items in the freezer, just mostly ice and a couple small items. And then I have my large upright freezer, so that's the one that I utilized with my propane generator. And then I just had a couple of coolers for my items that I wanted to just keep cold. And then I also, another good item is having ice packs. Ice blocks, then that way you can have those on deck to use with your. So another great item to have in your prep list is a nice butane stove and some cookware. I prefer cast iron. It lasts forever. It's very inexpensive and it's very safe to cook on. You don't get a lot of chemicals leaching into your food that can cause lots of issues. And these are pretty inexpensive, great to have, and you can use them multi-purpose. If you like to go camping, go on trips and such, these are great to have.
All right, so we just got done here at Walmart topping off some of the prepping supplies here for Blake. I think it's very important for all of you to heed this advice and to little by little start doing the same. It's always good to make sure that you test some of the equipment you have as well, because you could run into a situation where maybe you need to use it in the following month or the following week. And sometimes some of these supplies that you do have, maybe the expiration date is off, or maybe some of the equipment that you have, maybe it doesn't work properly. So it's very important for you to test those regularly, to be able to have a schedule within the year to test these things to make sure they work properly in case of an emergency. A couple weeks ago, when I was with JB and Aaron from Texas Silver, as we were traveling on different states here in the south of the United States, what we did notice, JB and I, was that Aaron was actually required to carry a Geiger counter from his work. They actually required for him to carry one. We didn't know why, in order to test radiation levels across where he was traveling. And so, yeah, that's another indicator of something that's going on here in the U.S. that maybe we don't know exactly what the intention is of the government for them to have government employees carrying around these Geiger counters. Blake, what's your opinion on this drone situation?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. There's a lot of information starting to be circulated out there, but we're not getting a lot of official information. And of course, the government is not going to flat out tell you what's exactly happening if it is something very serious, because they don't want people completely freaking out. Pandemonium in the streets, stores' shelves would be empty, the stock market would collapse. So obviously they don't want all of those things to happen at once. So it would have to get extremely serious, and by that point, everyone would be rushing out to do those things. So you need to be prepped before that would happen. Then that way you can at least keep calm, cool, collected, and go through the steps instead of going, oh shit, I don't have water, I don't have canned tuna, I don't have enough 12 gauge ammunition, whatever it may be. You need to have all that stuff ready to go. So today we just did a couple items here. I use propane tanks a lot from a couple of my grills that I have, and also for the generator that I used a few weeks ago with the hurricanes that came through when we didn't have power. I've got many of the tanks, but I like to have all of them filled at all times if possible. So I just had a couple that were empty. So Enrique and I came down, we grabbed those, and also grabbed a CO2 cartridge, which I mentioned from one of the other videos, which is great. You guys should check out if you haven't. A lot on healthy saving tips for shopping. good stuff on that, and that was one of the main things we talked about. So I grabbed one of those here for my soda stream to make sparkling water.
We are going to be talking about these subjects in the future. We hope you really enjoyed our content today. Continue to like and subscribe if you haven't. I know a lot of my viewers out there, they're not subscribed to this channel. We'll go ahead and provide you good content that we think will benefit you. We'll be in touch. Stay tuned.
Take care, guys.